And we are live. I have some things to fix in that intro video, but you know what? Not bad for 45 minutes because I kept constantly getting interrupted all day today.
Did that say Summer Slim or Swim? Was there a Y in there?
Swimmer Slam.
Maybe. You know what? Hey,
in a world where we're all underwater and wrestling still happens, Summer Swim.
The beautiful thing is the way that I labeled my files is this was version 1, so I already have a version 1.5.
Oh, not even a version 2. It's 1.5.
It's 1.5.
Final 2. The real final 8 for anyone who's a fan editor.
Did you say final AIDS? What?
No.
Turn. No.
What? I was going to say I was a little taken aback by that.
Don't save the .aids file. Never save
Anyways.
But everyone has it.
Oh my goodness. On that lovely note, wait before we get started, before we do the thing, because I feel like it's gonna be one of those nights. There we go.
There it is. I was waiting for it. I go away for a week and I'm right back on.
Broke that out 45 seconds into the oh man. No, we just
love it.
All right.
This is what happens when JVL misses a week and then he comes back because he's all gas and no brakes. Like he's about to go crazy. It's about to
hopped up on northern climes and lots of maritime air.
That's
isn't tight.
Actual oxygen? Yeah, that's good.
We love to see it. But hi, all you wrestling nerds out there, and welcome to another edition of All Elite Ensemble review. Your weekly AEW review show here at BC WrestlePod Network. My name is Mikey, also known as El Jefe around these BC WrestlePod parts. And of course, I am joined by, well, now we're a quartet, not a trio no more. We are officially a quartet, which means it's going to go off the rails faster than, before.
So Benny gets it. He can take it. He'll be fine.
He's replacing that part of it. He was here for that time when it was only 3 of us. I mean, we needed him back.
Be like, somebody needs to wrangle you in. But anyways, of course, we are a quartet. I am super excited about tonight. But let's go through our panel. First and foremost, he wasn't here last week, but he was up in, the principalities of the north as he was traveling through doing some stuff. But JBL is back, so the falling green cuts. I can't with you and these names, I swear. Hi, JBL. We missed you.
I missed you all, too. Thank you for holding down the fort while I went and visited Canada for a little bit.
Oh, Canada. Anyways. So, and of course...
Her name is Alberta. She lives in Vancouver.
Yeah.
And I've been Ed Mannington her quite often.
Oh my
goodness. That was close. We didn't get demonetized. We're still fine. We're good.
Do you want me to sing something from there?
No! Don't do it! But anyways, continuing on with our panel for the evening, we have the professor who understands how hot it is in California right now.
Man, it is stupid hot up here. I know in the south it's always, you're in a desert, so I shouldn't really be complaining.
It's 109 degrees today.
Woof. Yeah, here in the foothills, it's not too much better. And there's thunderstorms everywhere, but here, so it's that awful, we're stuck in the middle of the donut feeling, if that makes any sense.
But don't you feel better you're not getting the lightning that's going to strike near your home and then start more fires?
Tony Khan keeps sending lightning to your house. Wasn't that a thing? That happened
he knocked out my internet that time.
Yeah. I watched the first hour and 10 minutes of Collision. So much fun. So I might watch more
Hey, we're
Collision
slowly
too.
getting there. We're slowly getting there.
Yeah, I'll get there. I've got time. I was in not to put my personal problems out on the internet.
Oh,
yeah, it's
please
been an interesting.
Do it.
I've been in a 3 or 4 day Cold War with various people, so it's been an interesting.
Cold.
We're okay now. Are we okay now? Okay, great.
Things.
Ave Maria.
He's just waiting for the nuclear option to happen. It hasn't happened yet.
I'm waiting for it. I was kind of, but I didn't even go to the bunker. I just went and looked at the sky and went, "Okay, take me. Go ahead." Go ahead. No, it's not happening.
Yeah, why were you talking to Stan, who lives in the tree outside your house? I mean, he's not going to take you when you want him to.
He's fine. He's just. We took his binoculars away, so we're more comfortable. But he's fine.
How did you get them down from there? I'm curious. I'm way more curious about this.
Honestly, we're gonna talk afterwards because I got questions. And then, of course, rounding our quartet of a panel tonight is our newest member and permanent host, and joining us somehow. he hasn't been deterred away from the chaos that is this group. But Benny is back and is permanently here. I'm so excited. Hi, Benny. How we doing?
Greetings and salutations. I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for having me, and let's rock and roll.
Oh, absolutely. We have Dynamite and Collision to get through, so let's do this. But before we get into that, though, if you however you found yourself here on the YouTube or the Twitch or the Kick, whether it was of your own accord, a friend, or you just randomly, the wrestling gods decided, here, look at these weirdos. We're glad that you're here anyways. But if you like what you see here, make sure to follow us on the Twitch and the Kick and the YouTube. Subscribe, follow us, all that good stuff. It is great. However, if you cannot watch a full-length review, that is okay. We still love you anyways. And you can still stay up to date with all of our shenanigans by following us at BC WrestlePod on pretty much every single social media site that you could think of. Because we do report cards. There are clips of us that are totally not going to haunt us later when we try to do bigger and better things. We also get previews for the shows that we cover. Like earlier today, I posted, here's what to expect on NXT tonight. And tomorrow I'll be posting, here's what Dynamite has to offer. Tony Khan, don't give me just one match, please. Because every time you tell us, here's what to expect tonight. Sir, there's only one match. You mean to tell, all right, fine. I guess I'll watch the show to figure out the rest of it. But anyways, it's a lot of fun, though. It's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get with AEW and Tony Khan. Anywho, we also have some merchandise available for you to buy, especially in this hot summer season. Treat yourself to some tank tops and some bucket hats and all sorts of stuff, which, can be found in the chat on the various platforms that we're currently using right now at bcwrestlepodshop.fourthwall.com. You can find merch for all of our review teams, our summer collection, our pride collection, and our anti-fascism collection as well, is what I'm calling that latest collection.
So really, they should just break the fourth wall and buy our merch.
Yes, break the fourth wall in real life by shopping at bcwrestlepodshop.fourthwall.com.
Who's behind
Tomorrow night, you can see our other co-host Adolfo model for us as he bought and is modeling the merch every single week.
Can we get Adolfo's picture up there instead of the model that's there now? That guy looks so bored.
Yeah, and we really need less bored Adolfo.
I have to investigate. I think there is a way that you can actually upload your own headshots.
That
and
it
things
could
like
be
that.
Adolfo wearing it, not
it could be every one of
like,
us. Oh my
I
god!
hate my life. Yeah.
Be like, that's all of us. Everyone's going to be taking pictures and we're going to put it on the website. We live in the internet forever. Anywho.
Is that a decree across the thing boss there? You're just telling us we have to do this now as part of our contract?
Yeah, all of you owe me. I'm just kidding. I'm collecting all the favors.
I mean, we're not modeling the onesies or anything, so, I guess it's...
Oh, I'm just going for the underwear.
Anyways,
there's an Antifa underwear section on our thing.
You got to click on the right link inside the fourth wall to make sure you can find the Antifa underwear.
Let's talk about Dynamite. So before we get too derailed, which we're going to in about 30 seconds, let's kick things off with Dynamite. Also, I'm going to say this again at the very end, but this upcoming week of AEW programming, which I'm cool with, but at the same time, there's too many shows on Thursdays because Collision's on Thursday this week. I'm like, not again!
Is there a reason for that, or they're just messing around with
SummerSlam.
Oh.
The other Fed that we don't like to watch, but sometimes we have to because it gets us clicks?
Yeah, the one that we watched and didn't want to have watched last week? Yeah. All right, that's a good point.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah,
what?
So let's get into Dynamite because we got a lot to talk about. Again, we find ourselves in the second week post. We find ourselves post all in Texas, and we're slowly starting to set things up. I'm like, So we're about to finish out in July. So probably, we're getting builds to Forbidden Door because MJF is about to be in Mexico this Friday. So that's going to be interesting for sure. So that's going to, we'll tune into our CMLL review tomorrow. But let's talk about Dynamite because we kick things off with, of course, the mortal enemies for life, Hangman Page and MJF. Hangman Page tells MJF he doesn't have the cojones to cash in his contract on him, which prompts Hangman to leave to get into the ring where coming straight from Warped Tour in Long Beach this past weekend, in Wheeler Yuta. And we jump into our first match, which is Hangman Adam Page versus Wheeler Yuta. And it is Shark Week here at AEW. It's crazy.
You couldn't tell that there was no branding anywhere for this.
That is why that's why I will forever love Athena and Billy Starks, because they're like one of the few wrestlers that actually made use of the Shark Week props, which was fantastic. We're going to talk about them in a little bit.
I don't want to give them more ad time, and we have other things to talk about. But Darby Allin doing the most half-hearted Shark Week promos ever.
Yep.
Like, man, they must have paid him a lot of money to just mail it in. Like, damn.
They could have paid us a lot of money to mail it in.
Coffin drops in the middle of shark-infested waters, too, that I saw, which was crazy to watch.
Yeah, but did, like, a weak one, like, watched. And he didn't do a traditional coffin drop, go straight back. He was I don't know. I'm not ragging
you're
on
not
him.
supposed to land on the sharks. Like, you're not allowed to land on them.
If there's a creature that can take a coffin drop, it's a shark, right?
That's very fair.
No.
Just kidding.
Shark can't take a coffin drop?
They're all cartilage, man. Like, they kind of bend up and fold in weird ways. Like, sort of. I would think a whale could take it better than a shark.
As long as it's not a whale shark, we're good.
Whale shark would be banned, right? That would be the whole.
Yeah, that's banned. That's banned.
Yeah.
They'll just eat you alive, and that's it. Just like how Hangman Page ate Wheeler Yuta alive. This essentially was a squash match. Hangman Page's like, I'm gonna beat your butt, and he beat his butt.
Right.
Tonight's the night I'm gonna get myself choked out.
Oh my god. I want to know why are all their blood is like neon color. Why does he have neon color?
They're dehydrated.
Fair. That's got to be it.
Hopefully the AC system is working in the Aragon ballroom.
Oh no, those folks are cooking to death in there, I'm sure.
Oh no, that ballroom has no AC. I've been in there
None.
multiple times for shows.
None.
I got stories from that place. So many stories from that place. Anyway, Benny, I want to ask you about this. Did you feel like this was a little more competitive than it should have been, with the fact that they were just trying to beat up Wheeler Yuta, or did he actually just get enough of his ass kicked?
To be honest with you, I think he got just enough. Like, it was like the perfect, especially with the aftermath. Like there was a moment where like Wheeler like toe kicks Hangman, and Hangman just had enough. Like, he just got up and beat the piss out of him, and then like as Taz would call it, a buckshot Jones, and then go home.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing else to say. This was just essentially a squash match. Hangman beats up on Wheeler Yuta, and then he chokes him out with a chain later.
We're trying to show the dissension and the eventual death of the Death Riders, which we see later on in Collision a little bit too. We kind of see that bookend a little, but not too much. I know this is fine. I don't think they made Wheeler Yuta look weak necessarily. It just showed us what we know. It was like, oh, you can take a lot of punishment and lose pretty well. Like, it didn't help him in any way, which is tough.
I agree. There wasn't a real growth of character here. Wheeler Yuta is a punching bag that will take a lot of beating and bleed, and Hangman's just showing how strong he can be so he can set up his promo later on with the rest of the Death Riders being in the ring and still having Yuta there looking half brainwashed. I don't know. It was very strange.
It's very strange. And now that we have Frankenstein Moxley with that big old staple gun thing across his forehead, it's scary. But we'll talk about that.
It's crazy for sure. But Hangman wins, beats up Yuta with the chain later. We're going to revisit Hangman towards the tail end of the show, because right now, I love Athena so much. Like, she's like so good. She is so unserious. I love her. I love her and Billy so much. I don't care what nobody says. But Athena is the, minion overlord, questioning her minion about what she's going to do, asking her questions about things like that. Billy's goal is to destroy Tony Storm enough so Athena can cash in her contract. I could not stop laughing with Athena's like shark fin hat going in the background too.
Athena Elite Wrestling, love it.
Uh,
I wonder
loved
if
it.
she's the only one that wore the promo gear, I guess, that they gave everybody.
Yeah.
That's funny. It's the only time
Because
we
she's
saw
having
it was
fun.
here.
And a couple of places in the crowd too, but yeah, she got it from some sort of fan. I also, for like a hot second, as they were doing the early part of the program, like, is Billy Starks wearing a System of a Down T-shirt?
I was
Like,
gonna
what
say,
the heck is up about that? Because it looks like it with a hand.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I was more, like, I couldn't be more of a fan of hers, but then I could definitely be more of a fan of hers. But sadly, it wasn't. But oh well.
no, but we'll get into Billy a little bit later. There was a lot happening in this next match, though, because, well, first we get told, okay, so we're doing a tournament to figure out who's going to face the Hurt Syndicate at Forbidden Door for the tag titles. And we get the bracket. There's only one little issue with this bracket. There's only one part of the bracket that's filled out. We don't learn the rest of the teams until Collision. I'm like, okay. So tonight we are getting FTR versus Jet Speed to figure out who's moving on to the semifinals. This was a damn good tag team match. Holy crap. I was like, this is on my free television. What the hell, you guys? But when you have those four individuals, I was like, no, that tracks because FTR is really good. Speedball and Kevin Knight, Jet Speed's really good. This was great. We went through like 2.5 commercial breaks for this match. It got time. And then, of course, FTR pick up the victory, though, with shenanigans with the help of Stokes' crutch. So, unfortunately, Jet Speed are knocked out of the tournament. FTR is in the ring. They are trying to catch their breath. Copeland, like, we have gone from Cope to Adam Copeland, but Adam here, Copeland, he comes out. Of course, he can't get anywhere near FTR because of the restraining order shenanigans. He's not here to beat up Stokely himself, though. But he has hired some people who can do the beating up for him because they are in the business of hurting people. And we come to learn that Copeland here has hired the Hurt Syndicate to beat up FTR and Stokely after the match, which I was like, okay, that is a direction that I did not think we were going to go to. But hey, you know what? They are in the business of hurting people, so I guess it makes sense that somebody would hire them to hurt people.
But I mean, has this been set up before? Like, this is this an, like, you know, an acolyte protection agency type of thing, or are they just kind of like?
Thing, though. I feel like this is the first time where somebody has actually hired them to hurt people.
Yeah, and heels hired by a babyface ostensibly to beat up heels.
Yeah,
It's weird.
it doesn't totally track storyline wise. I thought, I mean, it got a good pop and everyone was kind of excited. I laughed. I was like, oh my God, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
I don't know where we're going with this. If this was just a shoehorn way to get Copeland on the card and get them involved because they needed something every week, it kind of comes off that way. I thought the match was a lot of fun. Mike Bailey hit some of those chest kicks. Those TKD kicks were just ridiculous. He threw Dax over that Shark Week banner at one point, and Dax got too much air and almost like went into the crowd.
He was like,
luckily caught himself like, oh, I guess I'm okay. And then you could see Mike Bailey like, are you all right? Okay. And then he went and dove after him.
The problem is that he was aerodynamic with that bald head, so you know.
Exactly. See, it's just too much. When we run, we go faster. Benny will tell you the same thing.
Why'd you? Never mind.
So I thought the match was fun. I think they were trying to just, again, shoehorn some extra stuff in there that they didn't necessarily need. I kind of want Jet Speed to make it. Like, they should be a tag team we care about. So far, they're not getting buried, but they've taken a lot of losses, even though they look really cool. I don't know. I understand the result. I'm questionable about where we're going.
Well, when we get to Collision and we learn about the rest of the bracket too, and we see who the rest of the teams are, I'm like, I swear to God, if we get another FTR Young Bucks finals, wow, that is going to be fun. I'm going to lose my mind.
That's probably where we're
like,
going.
not again, you guys. Come on.
Benny, go. You have words. Benny, go.
Like, no, stop it. You know, Tony, stop it. Like, build somebody new.
Like, get the spray bottle for Tony Khan.
Exactly. No, stop. And with the Hurt Syndicate, like I've noticed this with certain people throughout the years watching AEW. They're like he loves having Tony loves to have people who are like, I hate this term, shades of gray, right? Where like depending on depending on the angle, they can turn them heel, and then like the next week they can be back being baby faces, you know. Where the Hurt Syndicate coming out to help out Copeland, which
It's so
means that
weird to say help with them because they're not helping; they're just hurting people.
yeah, exactly, right.
The help syndicate would be boring as hell. You know, it's just
Oh no! You put that in as like people that are the jobbers or the Wheeler Yutas of the world, where they're the help syndicate. Like, I need help. I'm constantly losing.
It's Wheeler Yuta, the Brooklyn Brawler, like dressed as nurses. We're here to help you. It's like, okay,
Nah,
great.
It's basically the Job Squad 2.0.
not the Job
Oh
Squad.
man, that's brutal.
We need some help. We need some help.
That broke me, man.
That'd be someone grabs a knife, like, do you need somebody? Help! Oh, not just anybody. Help!
We're gonna get demonetized.
It's
Just
fine.
get destroyed. Oh my god.
No, but I agree with the consensus of the group here is that even at this picture, this is a lot going on in one singular picture of this match, and then what happened afterwards, and then the attack. I was just like, there's a lot going on in this picture. It felt like a lot.
I don't hate it. It did give me that whiplash, like, ha ha ha. What am I trying to follow thing? But
Well, and you think about also, is he going to get the Hurt Syndicate back again to face all three of them next, or like what's going to happen there at Forbidden Door?
Yeah, it's a weird way that we could, because technically right now the Hurt Syndicate are just waiting to see who they're going to fight at Forbidden Door. So we're throwing them into, things. We're trying to get them on television as much. And I was just like, you don't need, like, there's a lot of crossing over of some stories where it's kind of it gets convoluted. I'm like, I don't think we really need this, but it is what it is. Also, random side note. I was going to wait until Collision. I'm going to say this now. Whoever took the Collision graphic and started putting like all the multi-person matches we got on Raw yesterday, I was like, what show am I watching? Because that's exactly what I felt like. I'm like, what show am I watching? But I digress. But we got to move on though.
We steal from the best.
Yes. Speaking of stealing from the best, but not really. Do we call them the matriarchy now? Is that what we're calling this? Because Mama Wayne's now kind of in charge. Not really. I don't know.
I don't know what to call them. I mean, they're not letting you call them the patriarch at all, and it just feels like Mama's Boys 2.0, like from ROH days, where we've got.
Gosh. I'll take Mama's Boys 2.0 over what the original Mama's Boys turned into because of Ring of Honor.
I would love Benny and JVL and Mikey's take on this. They shot all these at once, right? They just changed clothes.
Yeah.
Right?
Totally.
Mama Wayne's the only one that really sold it. The two dudes kind of mailed it in. She looked great in all 5 of these we got. But it was like, these are different stages. Oh, okay, great. She fixed her hair. She fixed everything. Like,
are you saying that she went through the 5 stages of grief
to
get over Christian Cage?
Oh man, Nick Wayne's young. He's gonna get there. He's taking risks. He's on it. I don't want to judge any of his promos. This was okay. It's coming off a little snarky and entitled, like it should, but not in a I'm interested in you kind of way. I think he'll get there. At least he's getting the reps in. I think that's good for him.
And essentially all this does is like, hey, we're going to take these wins out here and you'll see on Collision when we face people. I'm like, okay.
Hey, Kip Sabian in action. I'm happy for that.
That's exactly why I was like, listen, I'm not going to complain. Kip Sabian back in the ring. Yeah. Anywho.
So one thing I noticed about this promo was that there's certain things that like comedians do where like they sort of like imitate the delivery of a comedian that they love, right? Like when they're first getting started, right? Like they haven't found their own voice. Huh?
I said that never happens at all. Never.
What are you talking
No,
about?
it's not-
It never happens.
No, there wasn't like, everybody sounded like Mitch Hedberg for like 10 years, right? Like,
One of
but,
my
like,
dear friends still
Nick
sounds
is-
like Mitch. He can't do anything without sounding like Mitch.
Well,
It ruined
did we
him.
stop? Did we stop doing that?
Sorry. Go, Benny, go. Go, Benny, go.
No. I was like, I need more of this story. Like his cadence and inflection is Christian Cage. Like he's been sitting around watching him do those promos for like damn near 2 years, and he just was like, you know who I'm gonna do, Christian. I liked it a lot. They said something on Collision, like right before Fox walked in, about like naming themselves. Or there was also one here where they made like a uncaged reference. Like they're working it out, they're workshopping it.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing right now too is that for both Nick and for Kip, we are trying to find, new ground for them to stand on. Now that the turn has been made, they, took out Christian Cage, they threw him out. The patriarchy has broken up, and it's these three on their own. So we'll see where this goes for them. Again, like you said, Professor, Nick is young, he'll get there. Everybody,
I agree with Benny. I don't hate that he's learning from Christian, though. That's probably one of the top 3 promos in the whole business. Christian Cage.
Yeah.
Oh,
right.
But you're right. The cadence is there. The imitation is there for sure. So if you're going to learn under someone, learning under Christian's not the
right. So we'll talk about them again in Collision during the match because I actually really enjoyed their match on Collision. So, but we got to get into this. Moxley cuts a promo in front of a gas tank of some sort. Basically, this promo is like, Moxley's like, I lost, but we're gonna run this. Essentially, we're gonna run this back again because I still don't believe that Hangman is the person. I'm like, bro, he beat you in a Texas death match. What more do you want?
This is called Tony Khan won't let John Moxley go on vacation.
My God, this dude is like, he was supposed to be on vacation. And then when everyone started getting hurt like a year and a half ago, he's like, all right, Mox, I need you to come back. And he's like, okay, for how long? For a couple of months. A year and a half later, this man has still yet to go on his actual vacation he was supposed to.
He's in some boiler under the building. I don't know. This came off a little. What's a good way to explain this that makes it? The cults, the doomsday cults.
Yeah, familiar. I'm familiar.
That have like a date in mind, and they talk about the date in mind for months or years, and then all of a sudden that day comes and goes, and then they blame the followers. It was a little. I don't know. I didn't get it wrong. You got it wrong. I'll see you later. What happened to your face?
The best way
I installed a zipper.
Oh my God. Benny, we'll come to you in a little bit, but the best way I describe this promo is that now we're starting to see Mox kind of like start spinning, his head spinning, because for so long he was in charge, he didn't really have anything to push up against his ideology, as much ideology as we got. And I put that term very loosely, but because now Hangman was able to overthrow his ideology, now in a way, Moxley's having a crisis of self where he's like, no, it was this, it was that. I'm like, sir, he beat you in a Texas death match, and tomorrow night we're gonna see what happens, because there are so many possibilities that we can go with certain things. I don't think Mox is winning, but there is a slight possibility. I don't think Hangman's walking out of Dynamite as champion, possibly. Who knows?
There's no way. They couldn't put it back on him to start.
Everybody's banned from ringside, so some ish is about to go down. Benny, we come to you next. What did you think of this Mox promo?
This I really liked. It's funny when Mox is motivated. He's really captivating as a promo. Always has been. It's like a perfect example of like when he's not motivated, the Adam Copeland uh, feud, where where he was just like it's just word salad. Just get me through the next week.
Oh, that was a rough build to Revolution. Oof.
Moxley is like live channels the Ultimate Warrior in the worst possible way. Like always does. He thinks he's Jake the Snake Roberts, but he just is the Ultimate Warrior.
But it's like he knows the lines, but he doesn't know the lines. But he's saying the words. They're just not. Oh yeah, though we used to talk about that a lot. Where it's like, oh, what is this thing that he's saying? I mean, you're right. If all he had to do was add the, and it's like, oh, you're just Ultimate Warrior territory, man.
Yeah.
I see you.
You think any of those shots to the head he's taken for years could have something to do with this? I don't know.
Oof. Or the copious amounts of blood he has lost.
Vast amounts of blood loss. I mean, I hope Renee's holding him up. Renee seems to be doing totally fine.
Renee's just out here. She's just like, you know what? I've come to accept that this is what my husband is doing with his life right now. So I'm just out here getting confetti blown in my face by Chris Statlander, which we're going to talk about later. She's like, all right, you guys. Well, Mox, we're going to come back. We're going to pinpoint this and we're going to come back to later. Because right now we talk about it. Let's talk about it. Will Ospreay is here. I'm not going to go into the full details of everything, but well, let me go back. We learned that Will Ospreay is going to be taking some time off. He's been dealing with neck injury, and love you, Will, but you didn't tell anybody, and he admitted to not telling anybody. So I'm like, sir, we cannot be doing this, all right? But thankfully, the issues that are going with, what was it, his C4 and his C6, I believe, is the disc that he mentioned in this promo. I think so, C4 and C6. But according to the doctors, Will told the crowd that they were able to locate it and think that it's very fixable. And without saying it, Will is looking to maybe hopefully be back just in time for Forbidden Door, but he's going to be gone for about a month or so. I was like, William, please take care of yourself and stop trying to hide injuries. I get it. It comes to the territory of wrestling, but no.
Yeah, C2 and C6 vertebra are
okay. Thank you for correcting me.
And all messed up. Which are, I mean, he's crazy. He does crazy things. I don't know how much of this is a work and not telling folks. I feel like if it's that serious, doing what he does, they've probably been monitoring it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And if he's going to be back this fast, I mean, that's only what, 6 weeks away? 4 weeks away, right? Forbidden Door? Isn't that end of August?
4 or 5? Yeah, 4 or 5.
Yeah. I mean, that's not a lot of time off.
No.
Oh, JVL got struck by lightning.
No.
No.
Not again.
That's not a huge amount of time off. You're just going to do some rehab stuff for 5 weeks and then he's back? Oof. So if it's a matter of just pain and he has to grin and bear it, that's one thing. But I just hope he's not physically messing himself up. But we'll see.
Right. We're just gonna fix this right here until JBL comes back.
No,
so yeah. Man, I love you, Will. Please take care of yourself. Indeed. It was also really cool. Swerve came out and kind of like was cheerleader for Will in this whole thing towards the end of it, which was really, really nice. Again, as we all know, these two have known each other forever, so it was really, really sweet. What the heck? Anywho, I love these three together. Yeah. I wish it was called the Web of Madness and not the Triangle of Madness, that we would come to learn that's what they were called on Collision. But we get this vignette where now it seems that Tekla, Sky, and Julia Hart are now a faction, and I'm here for this.
I thought it was fun. I had no problem with it.
Please
do something. Now show me something. Now book them. Now give them matches.
Based on everybody who's been in and out involved with this women's division, I'm really hoping this leads to our first ever female, like all our women's blood and guts match, because I'm like, you're setting it up, man. So we're gonna see what happens with that. MJF got manhandled and was kind of fun to watch.
Dude, tossed him around like an old school Samoa Joe promo. That's a deep cut. I didn't hate this. It feels a quick pivot. I don't know if that's the best way to describe it, because we spent, like even MJF says it, we spent months and months and months of him trying to get in. He gets in. It's only been a few weeks, right? Maybe a month-ish. And now we're seeing the breakup of the thing?
He got in. MJF was in the Hurt Syndicate. Hurt Syndicate. I want to say a little before or after Double or Nothing, so it hasn't been too long.
Yeah. So I don't know why the pivot quickly, but he slammed him in that locker though. Like, damn, that had to hurt a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't hate this. I mean, it got cleared up a little better as we saw in Collision and other stuff like that. So it's okay. Nothing wrong with it. It leaves me questionable. Benny, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no. I love that. It does feel a little bit rushed, but like this is one of the ones where I go like there's more to tell to this story than and makes sense, Ben. Snap out of it. So like, as I think I brought it up last week. Like, Bobby has been giving Max like side eye for like a couple weeks, right?
Right.
And today, last Wednesday, like was like he just like had enough. And he's like, you know what? I'm not your lackey. And I was like, yeah, you're Bob Lash. What are you doing?
So, I mean, we're starting to. I think it's a smart idea that normally I'm not into the rushing of things, but I also wondering too, because it seems that MJF is going to be, well, at least in Mexico, Tony Khan is going to be sending MJF down to Arena Mexico, because I'm pretty sure whether if it's at Forbidden Door or CMLL's 92nd Anniversario show, one way, shape, or form, we're going to continue this feud that's been brewing between Mystico and MJF. So with MJF coming down to Mystico's house this Friday, taking on Averno in the main event for one of the CMLL National Championships. It's going to be interesting for sure. So this is going to be fun. Bobby Lashley is just like, listen here, I will throw you into this locker and I will stuff you like a sandwich in here if you keep being a little So the cracks are already starting to form, but we kind of figured that this was going to happen anyways. So, but I am surprised to see it happen so soon. But hey, you know what? We'll see where this goes, especially what happens at the end of tomorrow night on Dynamite, where things end up. Yes. So, okay. On paper, I was like, this is going to be a fun match. And I still thought this was a fun match. However, I would be remiss to say, I was like, there were like one or two spots I felt like we were missing some communication parts. And I feel like we missed some connecting points between Tony and Billy Starks, especially towards the middle. They started off really good. Once we got past those two like middle ports, it's like, somebody was a miscue or something. Then it finished strong still. But I was just like, man, this was good. I just wish it was great, if that makes any sense.
I don't know if you all thought the same. I felt like Billy was told, Tony's the champion, don't hurt her.
Which is wild.
Which is
right?
wild
to me, because
Tony's like, bring it, hit me. You can see her a few times, like pull her closer or really lay into Billy. And Billy the whole time, I'm not calling her soft. I'm not saying it was soft, but was really, the spinning leg kicks were just kind of a tap here and there. Tony had to oversell some of the things. The dive, even Tony kind of caught her and had to like pick her up and throw her to show that there was momentum there. There was a few, I don't even know if it was miscues. It was a little too measured. And I've seen Billy, what I've seen of Billy, and then clips that you all told me about recently. She's great. This was very like, hey, it felt to me like it was, hey, this is a tournament. If Tony gets hurt, this blows up everything. No injuries, play it safe. And it felt like she got heady. She played a little too much to the crowd and Athena.
Right. Which is crazy to me if that was the case for Billy to play it safe. Because I'm like, well, okay. So if you only watch AEW and not paid attention to her other run in the Fed, like, right, yeah, this is your first time seeing Tony. But we all know that Tony also has experience at that British catch style of wrestling too, because she was in the UK scene and Progress a lot. And then we also know that she also had some stints in Stardom and Japanese wrestling too. So we know Tony can hit hard and tap into all that stuff. And Billy has had somewhat similar training. So yeah, it was kind of weird to see her kind of pulling it back a little bit because we know Billy can go. So
I feel like with this, I think Professor's right. Someone backstage in booking was like, we just lost Will Ospreay. We've lost a bunch of other people to injury right now that we're going to use. We cannot let one of our hottest commodities get put on the shelf right before Forbidden Door. So take it easy out there. And maybe the two didn't want to actually do it that way, but they felt they had to, or something came up. There could have also been just like someone's gear wasn't functioning correctly, and so you were kind of like a little pulled. But it definitely felt as if there was some extra overthought in their stuff together that kind of didn't benefit them.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there was one thing that like I had noticed with Billy was that like she definitely was a lot probably like in her head because there was a few miscommunications that I noticed as well. Like towards the end of the match when like it's on Collision actually, like, and Tony came out and like she's like still attacking Windsor, and like while Tony's walking down the ramp, and it was like turn around, like take a breath. You're doing fine, but just take a breath. You know.
Overzealous. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. So Tony is able to win. So Billy does not get a future shot at the AEW Women's World Championship. Billy and Athena begin to beat up on Tony, which would prompt, to even the odds from Alex Windsor, which, plays into what's on Collision because Alex Windsor will be facing Athena for the Ring of Honor Women's Championship on Collision. So we'll get to that match in a little bit. But first,
can I also interject one more thing from that also?
Go for it.
Can we just send all of commentary home? Because all they were focused on was Tony's wrestling in a cocktail dress. She's the first one to ever do that. Go home.
Commentary was on
Riccaboni, where's Caprice?
I was just like, commentary was on one for Dynamite. I was just like, are we really doing this? Okay, what? Like, what is happening?
Well, they had to get to the tribute to Hulk Hogan. I mean, come on.
I know we got a lot to talk about. Jeez, it's already been 45 minutes. I don't want to take up time. I always feel like, at least on the AEW side, they know the first 30 minutes of commentary. After that, they just kind of wing it. Doesn't matter what the match is or anything. And it's just, well, what are we doing?
Well, that's when Taz's meds kick in.
I feel like we need to shake up the team because, and again, I'm kind of biased, but Collision commentary never gets me bored because it's just Tony Schiavone and Nigel McGuinness.
Nigel's great. I like Nigel a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When Caprice was on for the last couple of weeks too, not Caprice, Riccaboni, it was better too because Ian was having some fun without Tony there.
Ian is, how do I put this? Ian to me is the best representation of being able to have fun, but Ian also knows his wrestling stuff, and he's able to present it in a way no shame because Excalibur knows his stuff too, but the way that it's delivered, I think Ian does a good job. That's why I hold Ian, Riccaboni, and even Mauro Ranallo as my two favorite commentators within the last 10 years of me watching wrestling, because
Nice.
they know their stuff, they deliver it really well, and they're passionate about it. Not to say everybody else is, but you can definitely tell the demographic and the era of wrestling that some of these commentators grew up in. I was like, yep. I'm looking at you, Taz, and I'm looking at you over in NXT, Booker T, because I'm mad at you, especially when it comes to Stephanie Vaquer, but tune into tomorrow night for why. But, well, again, this was a good match. I just wish it was better. Whatever happened, Billy, we still love you. You're fantastic. Friend to our channel. We love you. Again, I didn't realize that this match was happening until an hour before Dynamite went on the air. So we were getting Swerve Strickland versus Hechicero, which had me all excited. I was like, okay, let's see where we're going with all of this. Let's see what happens here.
And then the Dom Phallus intro.
I was like, I don't know if it's just me. I don't know if the rest of you feel this way. Dynamite really didn't make me mad at the Don Callis family, but I feel like Collision, there was an oversaturation of the family, especially with Don Callis himself. I was like, are we putting Don Callis on television too much? And the answer to that question is yes. I was like, it's to the point where now it's just mostly Don, on television doing all the talking. I mean, Kyle is in a program now with Dustin, so he's out there. But I'm like, Lance, Josh, Roppongi Vice. I mean, Hechicero doesn't do a lot of talking anyways in CMLL either, but even still, I'm like, Takeshita's out in Japan.
And
so
apparently Dom Phallus is Hechicero because he keeps saying, I am Hechicero every time.
Yes. I'm like, Dom, shut up. But this match was good, and then it wasn't, because then, of course, we got shenanigans. I mean, Swerve wins technically, but then Okada comes out. The family start attacking. Swerve is able to get a lick back and make Okada run from the ring. We're pretty much setting up Swerve and Okada probably, if not anytime soon, definitely at Forbidden Door for the Unified Championship. I was just like, there have been so many we're talking about last week's Dynamite. There were so many DQs last week. By this point of the week of wrestling, I was like, no more DQs. I've seen 4 of them within the span of 48 hours. Wrestling needs to stop.
And Mikey, you also just skipped over a pretty darn good match. I mean, between the two of them, their technical style was great. The escapes were amazing. There was a lot of inventive maneuvers.
That's what I'm saying. This was good until it wasn't with the shenanigans. The shenanigans really soured me. I was like, gosh dang it, you guys.
Yeah,
we already did this with Steph.
For about 45 seconds in there, Hechicero ragdolled Swerve, and Swerve made it look good. Oh my god, this is crazy. They worked great together. I love seeing wrestlers. I don't know how deep a language barrier or style barrier, and of course you got these two who are pros who've been doing this forever. They just show up and do this. I have a hunch I don't know if it was supposed to be Swerve. It might have had to have been Will Ospreay, and they changed it, or they had someone else here, and then they just went and did it. I don't know, because we found out so late, like you said. It was great. Dom Phallus he's filling the Jericho void, right? They want someone to talk. They want someone as that heel anchor, and we're supposed to hate him, and we do. It's just you play that hand too much, we get bored with it.
1 or 2 segments, not 4 or 5.
Not
we
30.
Get every single week.
Yeah, and I think
he's trying to be Bobby the Brain Heenan, and he's not.
Right. No, I agree with that. Yeah. Benny, go.
Yeah, I've actually going off that I've totally see the Heenan influence. It's even called the family. And I like the idea of Swerve has to go through the family, the Don Callis family, just to get to Okada, and he's just putting up all these barriers, let's wear him down before he gets to Okada, so Okada just wipes the floor with him. It's a smart idea, but I completely agree. The oversaturation on Collision was a little bit much, because I love that the Shane Taylor stuff, and
Right?
But that was like the third interaction that we had with Don Callis that night. And it was like, oh God. Like, yeah, you're getting booze and you're entertaining, but isn't there anybody else? Like, what happened to Smart Mark Sterling? Like, like we have
Well,
other managers here.
it's funny you mentioned him because it's going to be interesting on Friday because he's teaming up with Matt Cardona and GCW on his team. It's Matt, Johnny Invincible, and Smart Mark Sterling taking on Shotzi and two mystery partners. And I'm calling it now. I think her two mystery partners are probably going to be the Hardys. So that's going to be an interesting thing. But yeah, I'm just like, ugh. When we get to Collision, I'm so happy that we get to see. I want more Shane Taylor promotions and less of the Don Callis family. That's what I want. Because now that I feel like Shane Taylor Promotions has found its groove, especially now that it seems that Trish is back like more full time now, which makes me super happy because I love me some Trish Adora. But yeah, so I agree with all of you. This is probably leading to Swerve and Okada again. Despite the interference towards the tail end of this match, this was looking to be probably one of my favorite matches of the night. But I was just like, no more Don Callis. I'm tired of him and his that bald fraud. Anywho, speaking of bald frauds, so we're just not going to call them Gates of Agony. They are just GOA now. We're just hyphenating things. I was like, no.
Goa.
Shout out to Bishop Kondo.
No. I just had the worst one in the world because you add him in. Ricoa.
No.
It's Claudio Castagnoli walking out there. Rico.
We'll talk about Claudio in a little bit because I love with AEW does their residencies is they try to make the venue also feel like part of the story too. So we'll talk about that in Claudio's entrance because I actually really liked.
We'll talk about that in a second.
That when we get to the main event, but yeah, Ricochet and the Gates of Agony are out here on side quests wanting to collect some gold. This is basically what that is. Also, shout out to Bishop Khan for winning the Pan South African Wrestling Championship the other day too. So I was like, yes, Bishop Khan, we'd love to see that for you. Anywho, we move on. MJF speaks. He tells us that, well, he's battling two different people right now. He has his contract because he's still got bad blood with Hangman. But at the same time, though, he also continues to talk about Mark Briscoe. So I was just like, you guys, like, we got to put a nail in this. We got to do something. Because I was like, I thought we put it to bed at All in Texas, but apparently not. So once again, MJF for the second week in a row collects the ire of Mark Briscoe by talking about Jay Briscoe and how Mark is the inferior of the two Briscoe brothers, which then sends Mark into a tizzy to go after MJF. MJF gets the heck out of Dodge, which then prompts, Claudio's music to hit, and Claudio gives his entrance, which leads us into, after all these shenanigans, into our main event of the night. I still can't get over this picture of Mark every time. But
it's like he went to the proctologist and he just got surprised by it.
Or he's just singing that note in that one musical.
I know which one you mean. This is his big solo and his mom is watching.
But we get into our main event, which is Claudio Castagnoli versus Mark Briscoe. Again, I really liked this entrance from Claudio. He was in the lobby, standing on top, jumps down. We follow him up the stairs, through the entrance ramp and everything, into the crowd. I'm just like, I love when we get these venues that AEW is able to utilize the venue as their like own individual, as like not only are the fans there, but the venue itself is like its own entity that adds to the show too, which is really cool. I wish more wrestling companies across the board would utilize venues like this more. Like it's the rule of using every available space that you can if you're able to. Like it makes it more fun.
It totally is. I can say from experience, having been to the venue, Professor, I don't know if you ever went to the Aragon Ballroom when you were in Chicago, but they get you off of those things pretty quickly when you're drunk and trying to climb on them. So it's very lucky that Claudio could get up there.
I've been in the lobby. I've never seen a show there or anything like that, but I got to walk through there once. Like, this is amazing. But I've seen concerts and tapings and stand-up shows and other things that are incredible place. I was telling him last week the legends of the tunnels that go from Aragon to the old Annoyance Theater to the Green Mill to the lake and all that other stuff. Like, oh my God. What a cool building.
So I really like this match. This is a lot of fun. This was a fun main event. I think Claudio and Mark worked very well. Yeah.
It's slow start, which I think that was the take, right? They wanted to sell that Mark was in his head. So they kind of almost did a chop fest, and I think Claudio got a little stuck in like, how long am I going to do this chop fest with you? Are we still doing this? Okay, sort of thing. So there was the first 90 seconds, 2 minutes of this, I think they lost some momentum. Even the crowd was like, where are we going?
Yeah.
But they won him over quick. Claudio's chops just sound different in that building, man. Just
they reverberate in a different way.
And like echo in that old theater. I thought this was fun. I think the ending was better than the beginning. Obviously, the surprise, oh my God, it happened roll up made me happy for Mark Briscoe. Maybe they're actually gonna push legit Mark Briscoe. Maybe no, never. MJF was right. Damn, that makes it hurt even more. Benny, go, Benny, go.
Oh man, what to say about these two, right? Like, first off, like Excalibur, like as soon as Claudio jumps the barricade, like he's already talking about like these guys have history, and like it's like that the Briscoe brothers like had a series of matches with the Kings of Wrestling back in like 2012 or something like that. And if you guys have, if anybody has ROH, they actually just put up a Kings of Wrestling collection, and a little shameless plug there. But man, I completely agree with you. Like that, like they sort of seemed like stuck for a minute. And then, like, them being, like, 20-year professionals were just like, okay, we're going to go out to the go outside and do some crazy stuff and, like, jump off the barricade and get the crowd back in. And then, like Darby haunting Claudio, like Sting, if anybody knows or remembers, like Sting wasn't always up in the balcony, like every once in a while, like he'd just be in the crowd, and just I thought that was really cool homage.
It was really nice. I'm waiting for Darby to have a Darby Allin mask on to flip people out.
The Phantom mask.
Yep.
That would be fantastic. But Mark Briscoe does end up picking the win, though. Death Riders come out and chaos ensues. There's a lot going on at the end. Hangman's music hits once again. He comes out to the ring, doesn't waste no time. He just tells Moxley, it's like, look, we know what this is. I'm going to give you a rematch next week, but we're playing by my rules. Everybody is banned from ringside. And then I will show you once and for all that I am the person that was able to defeat you. And as soon as I saw this, I was just like, MJF is going to find a way to get MJF is going to find a way to get in here in some capacity. I was like, I think ultimately Mox still loses, but there's the slight possibility that Hangman doesn't walk out of Chicago tomorrow as AEW World Champion. So I'm like, okay. I mean, I'm here for the ride, but we shall see what happens. So yeah, that was Dynamite from this past week.
Where else could they go with them? This is what I'm thinking. Like, why in all God's name would you do that? You just literally put yourself in a corner.
Right. So we'll see what happens tomorrow night. Again, my conjecture can be completely wrong, which I'm okay with. But that was Dynamite. So now, yeah, so this is probably what's main eventing next week. So everybody bar from ringside. It is, Hangman, Mox, round.
This I'm not saying I'm not excited to see this match. There's a match that gets made at the beginning of Collision that I'm very intrigued
Much
to
more
see.
so, yeah. Very much.
Because Chicago has a history of these matches being terrible. And I can't wait to see if it's terrible or if it actually works. We'll talk about it.
Let's get into it, though. So let's talk about Collision now. So
maybe they'll get into all the tunnels and stuff. Maybe they'll get down there.
If they find the Capone tunnel that goes to the Green Mill and then out to the lake so they could smuggle stuff. Oh.
Can you imagine if they can get cameras in the Green Mill for them to keep battling through the tunnel, then up into the Green Mill?
Sorry, guys. We're being Chicago nerds. Green Mill's an old, cool bar from the 30s, but you could fight in there if you really wanted to. I used to see shows in there and get a drink every now and then. The place is gorgeous.
Very much so.
So let's start off with what kicked off Collision. This was a TNT Championship match. This was our champion, Dustin Rhodes, taking on Tiger Style, Lee Moriarty in this match. Again, this will not be the first time we would see Shane Taylor promotions throughout the evening of Collision. This was fine. I mean, it gave Dustin a title defense.
Dustin, he looked really hesitant. He was not able to use his back and quite go as fast as he did just it all in recently.
And came up hobbled afterwards too.
Yeah, he did it fine. The match was fine. I had no problem with the match. I'm glad to see him. I'm glad he's doing it. I'm glad he got a title defense. I'm glad he got a win for the title. Melty. Yeah.
Very melty.
Very melty. So I did not hate this. But the second half of this, he had a little hitch in the giddy up, like he wasn't quite getting to the spots, and Moriarty was getting him there. But that could be anything. It's just something that I noticed. Still, it was fun.
Yeah, I mean, this was a fun match. Benny, what did you think of our opener?
I as a fan of both guys, like I really like this match, and it actually puts a base in this TNT title run for Dustin. I was like, man, this old cowboy still got
it. He's still kicking ass. Don't get me wrong. It's just he's kicked. It's the mileage, right? Like you're seeing it catch up just a wee bit.
So many shattered dreams, and his shins are just breaking apart.
Why didn't they give him the shattered dreams in this? Did you guys? Is there a reason he had him set up when they said no, don't do it?
Oh, Mike Posey, the referee, pulled him away like as he was about to hit it.
Why?
And it was like
it's technically a disqualification.
Really?
Yeah, yes, Professor. It's a shot to the nuts.
Yeah.
No.
This isn't mystery wrestling where we're having a low blow match. Like you can't just hit somebody in the nuts.
Or from this past mystery wrestling, watching somebody's cheeks get clapped.
Oh,
I gotta watch mystery wrestling.
And literally, somebody got hit with a cream pie too. That we were cream pieing all over the place as well.
It was a cream pie slap fest. It was great.
It was so good.
Wait.
We'll talk afterwards. I promise.
Yeah, Professor, it'll make more sense when you just actually let it just happen. So,
Dustin retains the TNT Championship after all is said and done. Don Callis makes his entry number 1 for the Collision episode, followed by Kyle Fletcher in tow. And basically, we set things up where Kyle Fletcher wants what he should have gotten at All in Texas, which we're like, we understand. But Adam Cole had grown people crying, myself included. So I was just like, now's not the time for you to win, Kyle. But we get set up that Kyle Fletcher will be getting, the Proto Star will be getting a TNT Championship match next week on Collision. But once again, Dustin dictates the rules. Well, not really, but it's a Chicago street fight. So I'm like, cool.
So the last 2 we've seen, one I remember one vividly because it ended up being the concessions and condiments
the
fight.
Hot dog and mustard match.
Because it was Briscoe and Jarrett just throwing mustard at each other for 20 minutes, and it was terrible.
And
so
by mustard, we
terrible.
mean actual mustard and not actual punches.
Actual mustard, like thrown into a popcorn machine that didn't break. Anything that could go wrong went wrong. It didn't work until the crowd got involved. Terrible. But we were still watching. Like, what is this madness? They went to get a ladder. They couldn't find it. I'm trying to remember. That's going way back. But that was.
Didn't we have like a Statlander Willow Chicago street fight too that actually worked really well?
That was that.
Yes.
That was all out last year.
Yeah.
Yes, you are correct. Yeah. That one worked. That was great. What was the other bad one we had? I think it was a go home show that was in Chicago. And there was
now, are we talking about bad or so bad it was good? Because the so bad it's good was the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, maybe that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, that
with the
Halloween
Hardys,
thing.
yeah.
That was
My
like,
God.
what is this garbage? Yeah.
The lighting's not correct, you guys.
Well, and speaking of things that kind of threw my mind into a tizzy, watching Kyle Fletcher vibrate as he's trying to hold back what he's saying and like seeing his chest muscles do this was the creepiest thing I've ever seen on Collision.
It was wild. I was like, okay, Kyle, I need you to tone it down a little bit, sir. I know we are full of feelings, but like, don't pass out now.
That's the 15th monster he's had that's just kicking in. So all of a sudden, he's just vibrating.
Him and Sky still have not gotten through all their monsters from last year.
Damn.
No, I kid you not, Professor. The amount of fans that brought Sky monsters just because of over one little joke at the convention we were at. Homegirl and Kyle Fletcher walked away with like probably like 2 years worth of monsters.
That's so
couple
great.
cases at least.
Good
Yeah.
for them. Keep. I mean, it might take a few years off your life, but keep drinking them, young fella. I hope the street fight isn't necessarily in the Aragon Ballroom. I hope that they go into the streets of Chicago.
Go on the L, you cowards.
Go on the L. Go to Superdog. Go to all these touristy places. I don't even care if it's taped. Just
can they throw them through the window of Mr. Beef? Just the heck of get the bear tie-in?
Go to the Bean downtown. Throw them into the Bean.
Oh my God!
Go down to Navy Pier and throw them through the 150-year-old stained glass. Like,
do it, you cowards.
Go to Wrigley Field and throw them into the Ivy. I don't care. Like, make it a cool Ferris Bueller montage of just beating each other.
That'd be hilarious.
They cut to a video of them on the St. Valentine's Day Massacre tour, and they're actually up against the wall.
Yes.
I can't. But this is happening this Thursday on the Thursday edition of Collision, so we'll see what happens with all of that.
Tony Khan's got the budget. He's got to get that Ferris Bueller music where he's running, trying to get back in time.
Listen, if you could get the final countdown, like I'm pretty sure we can afford anything at this point.
Maybe Mick and Jen would let them main stage at the Annoyance. Just get up there, do a couple rounds of improv.
Jeez Louise. But
you
let's
ruin
move.
someone's open mic set.
It's the middle of Splatter Theater, so there's blood everywhere anyways.
Sorry, Mikey, we're off the rails. I apologize.
But, well, it's perfect because Tony Storm is always off the rails, and we love her
God,
for
this
it.
promo.
The way she runs into frame and jumps on it next to Lexi, I was like, oh, Tony never changed. So, essentially, Tony talks about Athena and Alex Windsor. She talks about Athena, not being the person she wants to be in her box. I was like, okay, Tony.
And her non-sexual friendship with Alex Windsor.
Yeah, which was crazy. Lexi sells this perfectly as well. Lexi's also great at this too. She's like, girl, I don't think we can say that on TV, but go off, sis. Like,
speaking of things you can't say on TV, so did they like bleep out Marina Shafir and Mox's promo on Dynamite on purpose? Like, did she actually swear?
I think she did.
Because I couldn't tell by lip reading what she said. So
I'm glad you brought this up. Ospreay dropped the C word.
Yep.
Yeah, you can't say that on American television
Moxley
like that.
dropped an F-bomb.
F-bomb and he said shit as well.
And then Tony said something, and then someone else said something in the crowd, and they cut it quickly.
Yeah.
And I think that was in the FTR match. Someone did something and said it. Like, Chicago folks were all the language.
Chicago wrestling fans be buck wild.
Well, did we also miss, like, we're coming up on this point, did we miss Jushin Thunder Thighs Liger in the crowd out there? Like,
that was wild too. I was like, oh my gosh. Again, Chicago just gives they're just like middle fingers
it's,
up. Like,
it's also a residency, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And right, as my dear friend Black Irish says in the chat, Osprey just has an accent. They're just bleeping the accent. That's not. It's a
Because
bad
they
word
can't
to
catch
us,
what it
but
is.
that's just what they say.
He's an Essex boy. It's what it is.
Yeah, it's just in the vernacular. Sorry, Mikey. Go. Sorry, Mike.
Hey, it is okay. That is okay. We love it. But again, I love Tony. She's fantastic. We love her. So
You didn't get a picture of Jushin Thunder Thighs Liger? Come on.
listen, there's just some things that I'm trying not to get. Listen, we're gonna get demonetized anyways because it's us. But also, I'm trying to prevent those types of things and minimize everything. This one can be really quickly. This is another, quarterfinal match for the Forbidden Door Tag Team Tournament where we get the Bang Bang Gang, which is one half of the Guns, and beardless Juice Robinson. I missed the beard because he looks creepy in this picture, y'all. Like Juice don't look right here.
Did you see how quick that grows back?
Yeah.
He had the old school sideburns just like
Last
a week
week.
later.
Hold up, I gotta put this in there. Juice
Bobby
Robinson.
CJ Parker is rolling over in his grave.
Oh no! So we get the
Well
Bang
done,
Bang
my
Gang.
friend. Well done.
We get the Bang Bang Gang versus Big Bill and Brian Keith. Let's be real. As soon as I saw the Bang Bang Gang reunite in this way, I was like, shenanigans are about to be on and popping. And shenanigans work because this is the Bang Bang Gang's MO. We know them for them to be messing around and being goofballs the whole entire time. Hell, Juice Robinson made Big Bill sing into a whole nother octave range at one point during this match.
He did indeed.
I'm taking up too much space. Benny, go. Benny, go.
Oh, like last week, I think I was like, Big Bill and Brian Keith, they don't seem to have any chemistry. Like what I meant was like in the ring, but I completely take that back because this match was fantastic, and
This is a lot of fun for sure.
It was I love even the adjustments to the gear with Juice were all in, like it was just like the black attire with the singlet, I guess. And like this week he had like the little flare, a little bit of tassels, and like it like reminded me of like when Juice was in New Japan, like way back, like when he like wear like the top hat. And
That's right. Oh my gosh, those days.
But like, I thought the Bang Bang Gang worked really well for technically being thrown together. Like probably within the day.
Yeah,
Big Bill and Keith have great chemistry in the ring. They have awkward chemistry in the promos and everything else they're trying to make
do. Yeah,
well, but when Brian Keith is staring right at Bill's nipples, because that's what Heidi's at, it's hard for him to keep his mind straight.
Looking at those those torpedoes.
Stare into my nipples of the future.
Him and Lexi Nair are just like right there for it.
Oh no, I just got flashbacks of Rocco's Modern Life.
You see, I know the demographic.
You do. Millennials.
I wish they let Big Bill be goofy more. We finally got the dandy Big Bill, which we haven't seen in like a year or two. And I was like, give me that guy.
Yeah.
Eat the candy and be foppish and cute. Come on.
I mean, I agree because Big Bill's hair is fantastic. Like, look at this. This picture,
fantastic.
man.
Look at him.
This hair is on fleek, as the kids say. But the Bang Bang Gang are able to pick up the victory. They will be moving on to the semifinals on their side of the bracket. They will be either facing the Outrunners or the Young Bucks in the semifinals. So please let it be the Outrunners. But anyways.
That would be just utter chaos in the best possible way.
Please be the Outrunners. We don't need a Young Bucks run again.
Antine Pro 5.
There you go.
his hair regimen, we love it. Let's move on though. We get a double turn in essence.
Hell.
This is crazy to me. We get a Max Caster Platinum Max challenge. This time it's
There he
answered
is.
by Anthony
I can see
Bowen.
Jushin Thunder Thighs Liger in the background. I can see him.
There we go. I mean, we get a double turn ? Because Max is so over. He's technically like being cheered. Anthony's getting booed. Anthony wins, continues to beat up on Max until Billy Gunn has to intervene and stop Anthony from continuing to beat Max's butt. I was like,
he doesn't just stop him, he beels him across the ring.
yeah, I was like, whoa, okay. So okay, I'm just like, all right, well, we were trying to keep these two apart, but now that didn't work, so we're gonna throw them back and help them fight each other now. I'm like, okay.
We have nothing new for our wrestlers of color.
Ooh. In the words of Jasmine Masters, and I ooh. So, yeah, this is oof. Anyways,
Rough.
there's nothing much
Very
to
rough.
add, so let's move on. Tony Khan, I need you to send some money my way. Like every week, we are just putting like money and money and money. I was like, yo, can I get this money? But we get this 400K 8-man tag team match. So this is, we're going to talk about the winners in a little bit after this, though. So we get somewhat of a reunion of the newer form of the conglomeration. So Hologram and Tomohiro Ishii teaming up with the Outrunners, taking on Echiseto, Lance Archer, the Don Callis family, and my boys rocking the pan Afro like centralism of their outfits, and also Trish Adora coming out in the fro, like the fro.
Foxy Brown.
Just like, yes, Foxy Brown. I was like, yes. I was like, you better work. I was like, black excellence. This was also another fun one. I really enjoyed this match. I was like, I don't care. I'm going to turn my brain off for however long this match is. But this was fun to me, especially when you get, well, of course, Hologram is great. Ishii is fantastic. Outrunners are always great. Lance Archer, I'm glad that we're seeing you in the ring a little bit more, because I was just like, you were just literally like the bodyguard for Don leading into All In Texas. Echiseto's great. I am proud of the infantry and how far we have come with them. Like how far they have come since being a part of this company. I still wish that they won at, Super Card of Honor and Tag Team Championship match, but I do appreciate them being here on Collision a lot, especially now that Trish seems to be back, more permanently. So infantry and Trish, I love you. This was fun. Like there's no other way to describe it. I don't really have any criticisms about it. This was just fun. Yeah,
there's not much to follow up with that. Like you covered pretty much everything on that, including the fact that the Outrunners are spectacular, and apparently Don Fallis is Hechicero. So he had a conniption when he was doing his entrance. Just.
I like that they usually do these like party matches every once in a while. Most weeks actually. And
it's like it's a regular feature.
It really is. And like this time, like they added a nice little wrinkle with like the Don Callis, like Shane Taylor bit.
Please don't talk about wrinkles on Don Fallis.
I know he's wrinkled enough, right?
Oh.
No.
That's what happens when you keep a hot dog in one of those spinny things at the gas station. Well,
that's what he is. Don Callis is just
he's on a roller in a movie theater. Rotating in a movie theater.
Nobody picks him because the blemish on the forehead. Like nobody wants to eat that one.
He's been there since the day the movie theater opened, and they'll never pick him. And all you hear is
remove that one. You can't remove that one.
Don't touch.
It's been there since '93. Don't touch it.
Yo soy hechicero.
I was like, what are you trying to, what demonic power are you summoning? Like, what the flip is happening?
Don't flip it. Do not flip it. Let it roll. If you flip it, there's a problem.
In the words of Nyla Rose, do the wiener roll. We have fun here.
One more thing is that this is like a little bit of a nitpick, right? The Outrunners, who are like the epitome of energy and silliness, right? Like they come up with their entrance and Big Tom's just stumbling behind them, like I guess we'll get this over with, huh?
I swear Ishii looks like he's on a boat somewhere in the middle of the ocean, except he's walking on land, so he just can't keep his balance.
I was like, Ishii, I love you, but bro. Oh, let's highlight this comic because this is interesting. I was really hoping for Lance Archer to be modern day Jake Snake Roberts. He's a mid-level boss, and it seems like a waste.
If you guys remember when I first got to AEW, watching this consistently, I used to talk about him all the time. Like, that guy's amazing. That guy, that guy, that guy. But seeing him work, there's a sort of a limited move set. We never really see him talk, so I don't know his promo. And when I was talking about him when I first got here, you all hated that guy.
Well, because we had known him before he did the ill-fated moonsault where he landed on his head.
Yeah.
And since then he's been kind of limited. And then he had Jake the Snake with him. They tried to turn him into a modern day Batista now, and it just doesn't work for him. But if you go back and watch him in NJPW, like, he is a monster.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's a shame. Well, I'm glad he's still in the business. I'm glad he's still getting a check. I'm glad he's still working.
He's able to walk, which is great. After
He's
he
able to
literally
move.
landed on his head.
It was scary when that happened.
Yeah.
I remember now that you're saying that. He's still doing things. He's still a cool personality in the ring and whatever. But yeah, part of me too is like, damn, I wonder what he could have or should have been. But that's tough.
He's just not HSO.
No. So, I mean, the baby faces win, so the Outrunners, Hologram, and Ishii are richer than they walked into this match. Hologram and Ishii will probably be around and doing some other stuff. I just got to point out, though, because the Outrunners have a match against the Young Bucks tomorrow evening in the quarterfinal. God, I would love to see the Outrunners win. I don't think they will. But we got the rest of the bracket, too. And I was just like, whoever came up with the name of Brodito, I am here for Brody King and Bandito as a team. I'm not even going front, y'all. Brodito for life.
Speedball special. Someone give me a speedball special.
Literally, I want to see Brody King
fastball
throw
special. Excuse me.
Bandito.
I got too much Mike Bailey in my head.
I was going to say, he could do it. He's small enough.
He probably could do it too. He's 80. Yeah.
I do feel like Darby Allin would be the perfect candidate for that, though, for a fastball special.
For real. Instead of Brody King doing the cannonball, he throws Bandito into the cannonball and be like, ouch. I'm excited for the. Now that we have the rest of the bracket, I am excited to see where we go with this. I'm rooting for our boys, the Outrunners, especially since they put on a hell of a match at Collision 100. I was like, oh my God, I got to witness that live. I cried. It was so fantastic. But we'll see what happens tomorrow night on Dynamite. Again, I wish it was called the Web of Madness, not the Triangle of Madness, but I'll take what I can get. Our girls beat our local talents of some of the girls. Well, Rachel Ellering was there. And, some other ROH girls that we'd be seeing. Triangle of Madness wins.
I'm so sad for Rachel Ellering. She's so good.
I know. I know. Her and Lady Frost. But they win. Willow and Queen still got beef with them. So I was like, I swear, if you don't give me a women's blood and guts at some point within the next month or two, like, what are we doing? I also do appreciate that the makeup is back after getting misted because Queen Aminata was rocking like the black mist in her eye, which was great. She got a chair, but Megan Bang comes out and drops her. So I'm like, there we go. I was like,
Megan Bang was trying to put her through the mat. Like, my goodness.
The Megathis is about to kill you. So. Again, if this isn't building to a blood and guts match, I was like, what are we doing? But I digress.
It makes sense.
Yeah. Kyle...
Hologram changed his clothes.
What? I was like, this was wild to me. So apparently it's Roddy's birthday. So Kyle is being good wingman. He's like, listen, we're going to go out. We're going to get celebrate. Like, Kyle was wild in this promo. I was like, sir, I was like, who spiked your high C juice? Like, what is happening? I enjoyed it. I was like, what in the flip is going on right now?
He's still technically a new father. Maybe he's just, sleep deprived is all it is.
That could also be very true as well. He's like, you guys, I need this. Please spend this money. Please, please, please. I just wanted to include this in here because Kyle is ridiculous and I love him.
I didn't see the tail end of Collision, but this is again another opportunity to do a montage of going through Chicago, dressed like this. Go to all the eaters and bars.
We're at
Similarly to what we
Giordano's.
Well, we can do a pre-tape.
Holly, I'm
we-
trying to eat it.
We can do a
Hologram
we
and
can
a
do a
mask.
pre-tape for this, kind of like what we did for Adam Cole and MJF when they were like bro bonding, like video games and all that stuff.
That's still some of the funniest.
Oh, and you can have Roddy yelling their names out there, like they're at Dave and Buster's or something. It's going, hologram!
Yes! So fantastic. But yeah, Kyle, never change. We love you.
But
Go for it.
Go, Benny, go. Go, Benny, go.
So, my question is, right? Like they throw back to Lexi and hologram and Tomohiro Ishii, and she's like, so, and it's like, who's she gonna talk to?
Yep.
With all due respect, you know, and like I think like Kyle was being a little bit sarcastic here.
He was.
No.
I love Kyle so much.
So funny.
This was crazy. I was like, what is happening? But we move on, though. We get Nick Wayne and Kip Sabian versus two of our personal favorites, one homing to the channel, AR Fox, and loving seeing him more now in Mr. Angelico. Of course, you got to do the Angelico dance. I love Angelico so much. This was fun. I mean, I was just happy to see Kip get back in the ring. It's been a hot minute since we've seen Kip wrestle. Him and Nick Wayne as a team is going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, I always say this. AR Fox is always somehow on my television screen almost every single week, and I'm here for it. Like, give me more AR Fox. But I also want you to start potentially putting him in some championships position too. But I digress.
This looks great. I'm watching the highlights of it. Nick Wayne's still selling really, really well.
Yep.
I don't hate this sort of patriarchy tag team thing that they're doing. I don't dislike that. We'll see where it goes. I'm not sure what they're going to do with it, but yeah, more AR Fox. Please give AR Fox anything, any shot at anything. I know I don't think they're upset at him anymore about the passport thing or being able to the country. I would think they've gotten over that by now, but come on.
Yeah,
Let's
more
see.
AR, please. More AR. Woo! So, Chris, girl. Okay, so don't get me wrong. I love me some Chris Statlander. I always will. Like Saturday Night Fever, love you, girl. Down. Does anyone else feel like the switch in character was just like out of nowhere?
I watched this and said, okay, Chris has been so sidelined for the last couple months. She is just going to like go balls to the wall with it finally and just have some fun with this and be like, yeah, you know what? I'm done. I'm done playing around with everything else. I'm just going to do what I want. And if it sticks, great. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I get to do it. And so having the confetti, having the way she's addressing everything else, I'm all for this. I think this is wonderful.
I will give you points for that. I am worried because, again, we always find ourselves in the Chris Willow universe. Like, they are always going to forever be in an eternal rivalry with one another. I was like, you guys, we just did this. Don't make them fight again. Now, granted, their matches are always bangers, but still, I'm like, let it breathe for a little bit. Benny, I'm going to come to you. What did you think of this promo from Chris?
Like on the first watch, like I watched this back, on the first watch, I was like, I don't know, but like on the second watch, I was like, that wasn't that bad, you know, like just trying to give her the benefit of the doubt because I don't know where this is going, and it wasn't a great start, but I love Chris Statlander, and like I like that as you said, like she's taking risks, you know, and did it go? Did it go over? I'm not one to say, but it's intriguing at least.
It makes you want to watch.
I just watched it. I like it. I appreciate it. I agree with what both of them are saying. Like it's sort of change gears, go.
Yeah.
It does feel like she has been kind of stuck in between storylines and other things while everyone else has been going, kind of stuck in the Willowverse, like you're saying. It's a very different Statlander than we've seen. It's not all the way to alien boop the nose Statlander, but she's going to feed into some sort of madness or jealousy type thing, maybe, or maybe she has a little more to do here just to get noticed and booked differently. Yeah, make a choice. She starts
putting her hair down and growing a beard so she can look just like Wheeler Yuta.
She needs to walk. We're already over an hour and a half. I can't keep making jokes.
No.
I can't keep making jokes.
She walks into Hot Topic, falls in the clearance rant, and says, "I'll take it." Anyhow. Anyways. Yeah, we move on because we get into our main event, and what a hell of a main event this was. This was for the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship, which I actually want to credit Betty for this, for reminding me through the blue sky that the last time that Ring of Honor Women's World Championship was defended on AEW programming was when Deonna Purrazzo was the ROH Women's Champion and lost it to then, still in the company at that time, Mercedes Martinez. I was like, oh my God, that feels like forever ago.
Wow.
It's the length of Athena's run, but
So, I mean, Athena's about to pop up in September. At the end of August, beginning of September, she's about to hit almost 1,000 days as Ring of Honor Women's World Champion, which is nuts to me.
Yeah.
But I really love this match. This is probably my favorite Collision match, and I'm gonna be for real. This was probably my favorite AEW match from this past week. Not gonna lie.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, Athena's fantastic. She's always fantastic, and she will forever be fantastic. I'm just really happy that those who may not be familiar with Alex Windsor's work gets to see her kind of here in AEW, because homegirl, former Rev Pro UK Women's Champion, one of the top women, of the current generation in the UK, now is in AEW for us to watch. This was great. I really love this match. And again, like I said, this is my favorite match of Collision and my favorite AEW match from this past week. And that's a testament to both women. I was like, oh my gosh, we actually gave them time. That's crazy. Who would have thought? Anyways, I digress. So, yeah.
Yeah. Nothing to follow up with that other than that. Go Mrs. Will Ospreay.
Yep. Alex Windsor, aka Mrs. Will Ospreay. Anyways, Betty, I want to come to you because you were the one to give us that fact, but I also, don't mind me, I also stalk and read your posts from time to time on the Blue Sky while you're watching the show. So what did you think of our main event between these two?
First of all, I love this. I like to say that Tony Khan playing keep away with Athena and behind a paywall has really paid off at this point. Like, everybody's excited to see her, but back to your question, Alex Windsor, I'm not exactly I couldn't name 5 matches of hers that I've seen, to be honest with you, but she really I was wicked impressed. And Athena, I don't know. I'm I got way too many thoughts going on in my mind about Athena. She's just fantastic. But I digress as well.
Mm-hmm. No, and I think, and I want to talk about it for really quickly too, because the fact that Athena has mostly been exclusive through Ring of Honor Club for the last 2 years, mostly, with her sporadically coming into AEW weekly programming. And now that she's won the women's casino gauntlet match at Y'all in Texas, now that she's now here more often, is probably going to be, makes it so exciting. And then again, everybody knows how great and amazing Athena is, and now we get to see her almost on a weekly basis now. So it's fantastic. This was a good one. Of course, Athena retains the ROH Women's World Championship. Athena and Billy Starks begin to beat up on Alex Windsor, which then prompts Toni Storm to come down to even the odds. The girls begin to fight. Athena and Billy get the heck out of Dodge. And then I learned this morning that, to nobody's surprise, that tomorrow night on Dynamite, we're getting a tag team match, Athena and Billy versus Alex Windsor and Timeless Toni Storm. So it's like, makes sense. And I'm excited for it. It should be a good one. But yeah. And I mean, that's what this last picture is like fights all around. Everybody's going crazy. And that concludes our AEW review for this week. This was a fun week. Tomorrow is going to be interesting to see how the build to Forbidden Door goes, specifically for the AEW World Championship. I've also seen some people be like, Tony, we got 4 weeks and we have yet to start building international matches against international brands. And I was just like, we always find ourselves in this position. We're going to get these matches 2 weeks before the pay-per-view, you guys, especially since New Japan will literally be finishing up the G1 Climax the week before Forbidden Door. So I'm like, y'all need to calm down.
They've got to be waiting for that to be done. So yeah, they can't be touching.
Well, at least from New Japan side. And again, I think the CMLL sides will start building probably this Friday, especially since MJF is going down to Mexico to fight Averno for the one of the CMLL national championships. So that should be a lot of fun. So also, speaking of which, CMLL had announced all its participants at the end of August. CMLL will be holding the Men's World Grand Prix. So if y'all don't watch CMLL, the Grand Prix is a fantastic way because the main event last year was an hour and a half long and it did not feel like it because it was so good. It is a Grand Prix Team Mexico versus Team World match in which you have your stars of CMLL taking on some of the international talent around the world. The only reason I'm bringing this up is because we have some AEW folks involved in this Grand Prix at the end of August for CMLL. But to go through everything, representing Team Mexico, and we've seen some of these folks here in AEW. Team Mexico is made up of Máscara Dorada, Neon, Ángel de Oro, Titán, Templario, Atlantis Jr., Volador Jr., Místico, Difunto, and my personal favorite pirate luchador, Zandokan Jr., and representing Team World is from MLW, Donovan Dijak. Representing AEW, Action Andretti. Representing Rev Pro UK, Robbie X. Representing New Japan is TJP, TJ Perkins. Love him. Representing AEW, Rocky Romero. One of my personal favorites, representing Rev Pro UK, Michael Oku, which makes me excited. Representing Japan, the Bone Soldier, Taiji Ishimori, which makes me super excited. Leo Rush of AEW, Beast Mortos of AEW, and Speedball Mike Bailey is about to be on and popping in Mexico, which makes me so happy. Speedball Mike Bailey in Mexico is about to be on and popping. So, yeah. So we also might get matches for Forbidden Door too, so that's going to be fun. But yeah, boys, thank you for being here this evening. I cannot wait. So this week's AEW watching, Dynamite will be tomorrow, and because of what's happening this weekend in New Jersey, Collision is going to be live on Thursday. I'm like, So it's a long 4 hours, man. I was just like, just make Dynamite 4 hours, you guys. It's okay. We're fine. But I digress. So we will be back next Tuesday to review more AEW goodness. And of course, we have a jam-packed week this week. Tomorrow night is NXT and CMLL. Thursday is we will be reviewing Progress Stay Humble. So the latest chapter in the Progress Wrestling line as we are gearing up for 100 Volts, which is the 100th show for Progress at the Electric Ballroom, which is going to be crazy. Friday is the GCW Hit 'em Up watch along. On Saturday morning it is GCW Bloodsport, where it is going to be crazy because we are getting Masha Slamovich versus Natty Neidhart. Janai Kai is going to be involved, which makes me super excited. We are also getting Jonathan Gresham, Charlie Dempsey, Pete Dunne. WWE's The War Raiders will be competing in Bloodsport too, so that's going to be buck wild. So this is going to be an interesting one. And then, of course, 3 p.m. Pacific, Saturday, night 1 to SummerSlam, night 2 is SummerSlam, on Sunday, same time. There's too much wrestling. There's a lot, you guys. But that is going to be it for us here. We got to get up on out of here. So thank you so much to my boys here and from all of us here at BC WrestlePod. Remember, take care of yourself, love one another, stay iconic, and more importantly than anything, you always deserve to finish your story. We will catch you later this week for more fun. But until then, this is Mikey, El Jefe of BC WrestlePod, signing off. So sayonara, adios, and MXM Collection, play us out.
Let's get out of here. Johnny TV style. Sebastian! You're in the shot, you bald idiot! You fool! The other way! Go! Go!